my fellow human beings, and welcome to episode 88 of The Best Blessed Life. I'm your best host, Kristen, and today's topic is shortbread and some butter bars. That's Nutella! Before we get started, I want to thank you all for watching. Please continue to watch, comment, share, like, subscribe, ring that bell, and please pass them on to anyone you think that they may help. With that being said, our list of things to do today is, of course, our daily inspirations, and I got a couple weeks worth because we've all been on vacation for the holidays. And as you can see, I decided to bring my Sunday best. And this represents me powering through, which is the topic of conversation today while we're baking. And today we're baking what I would call a shortbread cookie elevated, taken to the next level. Okay? Don't forget that the recipes I make for you are made for you for the very first time, right on camera. Never made them before, I promise you. Most of the time. Unless I tell you in advance, and even then I've changed something about the recipe that's new. So in all fairness, I think most of the recipes I've tried have been never done by me before. So I think I can almost promise that. And then the second thing we're doing is, because it's a shortbread cookie, there's no eggs in it. And because of the price of eggs, oh my goodness, I need to see my niece Caitlin more. I paid $5 or $6 for a dozen eggs. So I decided that this was a way to show how to still bake something. I think I want to pass them on to some other people. So bake something for someone else that doesn't cost you a lot. And in all honesty, these are Nutella shortbread bars. That's what it says back there. I don't even know if that's on camera. Sort of. And so, I substitute things. I think the only thing I'm substituting today is the Nutella. And it's because I specifically cannot have that brand, because it says right on it made in a factory, or it has traces of peanuts, whatever the case may be. I can have other brands. I can have Aldi's brand. I can also, I believe, have some other store brand. I think it might be a local certified grocer here in town. Okay. So, and then I do kind of have a substitution for the Nutella in and of itself, not just the fact that we're substituting something else for it. And I'm going to get to that, I promise. So, and better put my glasses on. And I'm going to get the daily inspirations as soon as I'm done giving you this here recipe. So, it is 1.5 cups butter softened, so that's 3 sticks. And for some reason my marker leaked or dripped. And that says 3/4 of a cup brown sugar. They say light brown sugar. I say whatever you want to do. 3/4 of a cup white sugar. Yes, I am using white sugar. I didn't feel like substituting. I know we just got through the holidays where we're trying to, recover from eating not so well. But I give you the nutritional facts at the bottom of this recipe, and it's not horrible if you have one. Okay. So, there's our moderation for this recipe, is just eating one, which is going to be hard, I think. 2 teaspoons of vanilla, 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt, 3.5 cups flour, and yes, it's just all-purpose. 1.5 cups of Nutella, and for that I am using about, what would you say, Peyton, 1.25 cups of the butter?
1.5 cups.
But it calls for 1.5 cups. No, what I'm asking is, you said I was short.
Oh, with the cookie butter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, yeah.
Okay, so we'd say because Peyton was lovely enough to get all these ingredients and everything ready for me yesterday. Thank you so much, Peyton. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
So, I wanted to use cookie butter. I don't know if y'all know what cookie butter is, but it's delicious. And if you haven't tried it yet, you need to. I know I'm probably throwing all your diets under the bus at this point by saying that, but again, everything in moderation is so good. Is they basically take those Biscoff cookies and just pulverize them into a butter. It's so good. So that is what we're making our shortbread cookies with. Okay. So, but I have a cup and a quarter. So what we did is, and we couldn't find anybody carrying the cookie butter. I know Trader Joe's has their own brand, which I can have, and what is it mostly in this recipe? But I couldn't even find the Biscoff cookie butter at Jewel. I probably should have asked, but I didn't. I was in a rush. So we found the Biscoff cookies at Walgreens, and we crushed them up, and we're going to add a little bit of texture, because typically they just wanted you to spread the Nutella on the shortbread, and we'll get to that. Okay, back to the recipe. And then it's powdered sugar to kind of garnish, if you will, or decorate. Preheat 325, spray 13x9 with nonstick spray. In a large bowl, use the mixer to combine the butter and the sugars together until creamy. Add vanilla and salt, which is unusual. My salt is with my flour, and that's how I would do it with any dry ingredients. I don't know why it's separated. Vanilla and salt until well combined. Beat the flour into the butter mixture on low just until the dough forms. Divide dough in half. Wrap up one and refrigerate for the time that basically we're working on the other one. So you're going to refrigerate half, and then the other half you're going to press into the 13x9 yeah, I can talk today. 13x9 inch pan, and you're going to bake it until it gets just starts turning a light golden brown, and she says that's around 20 minutes. And then you remove that. And then you're going to, while that's going on, or no, I guess you have to be doing this after it's done. Because you're just spreading I cannot talk all of a sudden. You're just spreading the Nutella onto the freshly baked crust, okay? And then you're going to take the other dough out, and you're going to crumble it up, and you're going to kind of use that as a crumble. But what I'm going to do is maybe I'm going to alternate the cookie crumbles with the shortbread crumbles, or maybe I'll just kind of somehow mix them together. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. That part's up in the air because I'm not doing what she says exactly. And then you're going to bake that for, I think she says 30 minutes, till it looks crisp and kind of golden. Transfer that pan to the wire rack to cool and sprinkle it lightly with the powdered sugar before cutting into bars. Yeah, so one bar is 257 calories. It's got 31 grams of carbs, which is kind of high. Protein is 2 grams, which for a dessert, I guess, isn't horrible. Fat is 14 grams. Saturated fat is 10. Cholesterol is 24. Sodium is 147, which is kind of high. Potassium is 87 milligrams, sorry. It also has 1 gram of fiber, 19 grams of sugar, 24 grams of vitamin A, 26 milligrams of calcium, and 1 milligram of iron. I don't know if you wanted to know all that about your dessert, but boom, boom, there you go. She also says you can freeze them. They freeze well. Just store it in an airtight container and separate the layers with either plastic wrap or parchment or wax paper. You know, I use press and seal because, you know, that's how I roll. All right. Daily inspirations. I love these. They help me a lot. And I haven't been on for a couple weeks, so I'm going to start with Thursday the 22nd of December. Beyond the tools of logic and reason to the still calm place within us, the realm of the soul. Deepak Chopra. He who can no longer pause to wonder and stand wrapped in awe is as good as dead. His eyes are closed. Albert Einstein. The 24th, life is full of awe and grace and truth, mystery, and wonder. I live in that atmosphere. Dion DiMucci. The 25th, I have always tried to live by the awe principle. That is, can I find awe, wonder, and enchantment in the most mundane things conceivable? I really like that one. I almost got a little verklempt there. Greg Hatkoff. The 26th. If the world could remain within a frame like a painting on the wall, I think we'd see the beauty then and stand staring in awe. Connor Oberst. The 27th. Practice radical humility. Take no credit for your talents, intellectual abilities, aptitudes, or proficiencies. Be in a state of awe and bewilderment. Wayne Dyer. Wednesday the 28th. I am always in awe of people who devote their lives to a good cause and are brave enough to take a stance, though it may be controversial in their time. Rebecca Pigeon. Thursday the 29th. Gratitude bestows reverence, allowing to encounter everyday epiphanies. Those transcendent moments of awe that change forever how we experience life in the world. John Milton. The 30th. To keep the heart unwrinkled, to be hopeful, kindly, cheerful, reverent, that is to triumph over old age. Thomas Bailey Aldrich. Saturday the 31st, the last day of the year. It is a hopeful, buoyant, cheerful attitude of mind that wins. Optimism is a success builder. Pessimism is an achievement killer. Orison Swett Marden. For the first of the year, and Happy New Year to all. A cheerful frame of mind, reinforced by relaxation, is the medicine that puts all ghosts of fear on the run. George Matthew Adams. Oh, I should have marked the next page. I forgot. It's a couple pages in. And I forgot to write today's down. Okay. Oh my goodness. Oh no. Yeah, I did forget to write 2 days down. The second is when the mind has just formed the habit of cheerful, happy, prosperous pictures, it will not be easy to form opposite habits. Orson Swett Martin. He has some good quotes. I really like him. If I remember, I'll give you the other two. I can't believe I forgot to write them down, but I have been forgetting to write them down. Okay. Whoa, hello. And then we're also going to talk about powering through and kind of how you picture or visualize what is going to help you get through maybe a bad day. Like I'm having an extreme headache day. And frankly, you know, the bright lights and the glasses that feel like they're going like this to my head are the last things I probably wanted to do today, but truly I wanted to do this today. It used to be a chore. I used to go, oh my God, I gotta go get this ready. I don't want to do this, blah, 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 blah. And frankly, it does help when you have help to appreciate it even more. You want to do the episode even more because it's just like, oh my gosh, I so appreciate that help. I might have to recruit some volunteers. But it is to say that while I have a headache and I might not be forming my words correctly and I might be squinting my eyes and I might be going, oh my gosh, don't think for a second that I don't want to be doing this, because I do. I truly enjoy trying new recipes, and I am sad that I wasn't more progressive enough to think ahead and write the recipes down on paper, because now if I want to make like a cookbook or something, I'm actually going to have to go through each episode that I actually bake something and figure out which ones those are and put them together. So maybe I'll hire somebody to do that. Maybe somebody I know might want to do that for me someday. I don't know. Maybe. I think if I threw in some money, she might be more willing. It's just a guess. All right, guys. So I'm going to get started on the shortbread cookies, taken to the next level. But I will be talking a little bit more after I do a lot more of the mixing stuff, because it's loud. My husband was able to fix it a little bit, so thank you, honey. But I still think there is something a little off about it. If anybody who's watching this episode knows anything about these guys, let me know. I really would like a new one personally, but I want one of those like rose copper ones, or copper or rose gold. I think they might be two separate ones. I'm not sure. Okay. So in here, I don't know why I put the paddle on first when it's just in the way when I'm trying to put the stuff in the bowl. is the 3 sticks of butter. And yes, I know. You can use substitutions. For this, I'm just afraid. Maybe I will try it someday soon. But I'm kind of on a winning streak right now, and I don't want to curse it. Like, I got 100 Instagram followers today, guys. I'm so excited. You have no clue. Woohoo! Oh, see, even Patty's excited for me. Thank you, Dolly. And thank you for all your help to get me there. That was like probably more than anything. You guys, my kiddos, posting and sharing and liking and all that fun stuff. So, and all y'all sharing them and liking them, and it's always fun to see who sees them. Anyway, I don't discount the fact that this has 3 sticks of butter, but I need one more good week. And then we're into the let's find ways to still have fun foods like this and eat healthier. Because it can happen. We've done some. Some that have worked out. Like the brownie bites. I don't know if y'all remember those. It was a failure of the brownies. But turned out to be a delicious, like truffle. I call them brownie bites, and the kids keep going, what are you talking about? Oh, the brownie truffles? Yes. They're delicious. I said, well, I'm glad you enjoy them. You'll probably never get them again because I don't have the recipe. See, Peyton, if you went through and got the recipe, I could make those again.
Yeah.
Alright, so this is the white and the brown sugar together. See? It's a little better. It's not rocking as much up here. It still rocks a little bit. And it's not making that grinding noise. Oh, see, when you get on a higher speed, I guess it does it a little bit. So right now we're just trying to cream the butter completely. I'm going to turn up the mash. Yeah, see, it starts to get rattly. I mean, it is pretty old. I'm trying to think. I got it for Christmas. Gosh, I don't know. Could be 20 years old, I suppose. Could be as old as Peyton. Pretty well mixed together. That mixed pretty quickly. She did a fine job softening the butter for me. Okay. This is where they wanted me to add things separately, which I don't normally do. Okay, so the vanilla and then the salt. We're just going to do the vanilla for now because, like I said, typically I do all the dry ingredients together, and that's exactly what Peyton did. Why it would be different for shortbread than it would be for anything else, I have no clue. If somebody knows, again, comment in the section below. Tell me. I like to know histories of things, and recipes are one of them. I like to know the history of recipes. I like to know how it got handed down from generation to generation, or was it a fluke and you found it, Several of the recipes I found, I just found in cookbooks. And over the years, I've, put my own spin on them to make them mine. Like I make a chocolate mousse that everybody seems to love. It is a labor of love because it is work, but they love it, and so I love making it for them. Okay. So the vanilla's in there, and then I think it's time for the flour. Yes, time for the flour. This is our cookie butter in there. Okay. Whew, it gets so warm. Alright. So this is the 3.5 cups of flour, and the salt is in here also. And then we're just just gonna mix that on low. Shortbread's one of those cookies you don't wanna overmix, but there is enough butter, so it needs to be able to absorb all this flour, and taking your time to do that, and making sure you scrape it off the sides, so the cookie isn't too either too dry or too greasy, oily. I don't know where you want to put butter. Buttery is good, but greasy buttery is not. So, this already smells good. We know this is a basic cookie, right? And like I said, it's nice because you don't have to use any of your eggs. Butter is a bit cheaper. Not by much. Okay. As soon as I'm done mixing, we're going to start talking about the old powering through. Surprisingly, this isn't too torturous on my headache. At least yet, anyway. Oh, and I forgot to get I'm going to use press and seal to wrap up the other half of the dough. Or maybe I'll just leave the other half in the bowl and cover up the bowl. It might be easier. I think. Might be easier. We'll see. Because it's not like you have to roll it out or anything. And I can eyeball a half. I don't think it's bad if the bottom crust, is a little bit thicker and the top crust has a little less crumb to it, I don't think that's a deal breaker. Oh, come on. Just doesn't want to come out. But essentially, it does really kind of take on a chocolate chip-esque kind of smell without the eggs. If you have people that are allergic to eggs, this might be a good way to substitute for a regular chocolate chip cookie. I mean, yes, it's going to have more butter, but hopefully they're not allergic to butter. Yeah, it's really starting to get to that crumblier side, texture-wise. We still have quite a bit of flour yet. Whoop! Not so much. Not so much anymore. Oh my goodness. Go slow, go slow, go slow. It almost seems like my mixing bowl isn't big enough for the amount of dough in here. She's struggling. Hang in there. Is it bad when you start rooting on your mixer? Come on, baby, we can do this. Okay. I just dropped some on the floor. I'm a little heartbroken about it, but we'll be okay. Alright, now I really I need to get in here more, because you know how when it starts to get crumblier, it also seems to not, get all the stuff from the bottom? Or if it does, it's already kind of compressed it into nothingness, so you can't scrape it off the side. I don't know if you know what I mean. It's kind of like my scraper is become useless, because it just gloms onto it. Definitely knows buttery. Enough. Okay, cool. We got a little bit left, guys. Oh my goodness. And the paddle is in exactly the wrong place.
Coming up for a second.
Okay, say hi to everybody.
Hi, everybody.
That sounded creepy.
Hello.
Look at it, it's almost like my bowl's too small for how much stuff was.
Yeah, there was a lot of it. We were measuring it out. He was like, that's a lot of flour. I was like, yeah.
3.5 cups.
Yeah, that's a lot of flour.
Yeah. Alright, so we have kind of reached that crumbly stage, right? Which is gonna be what the topping looks like, but pressed into the 13 by 9 inch pan, it should be. It's just gonna hate this because It almost hangs off the side, and then things don't land in the bowl. The bowl needs to be wider. Come on, KitchenAid. Get your act together. Yeah, good amount of butter just sitting on here, so that probably needs to be mixed in, because I think that's been on there since the get-go. I didn't really I don't really wipe off the blade too much during. I don't know if I'm the only one that doesn't do that. Again, comment below. I feel like you just kind of, I don't know, don't think about that part for some reason. I just want to make sure I'm getting that all blended together. Okay, I think that's good enough. And see, now that I've cleaned it off once, it looks like it's going to be easy enough to just, oh, see, what? Come on, why is the blade wider than, go out further than the bowl? These are the questions I put. Okay. Alright, come on. Still feels like there's a ton of butter on there, but I'm gonna try it. That's ridiculous. Oh my god. That is so buttery good. I love this recipe for shortbread. I probably might even use that just as plain shortbread. That's really good. I don't know if it's the combination of the, I don't know, you get that good salt factor so it's not super duper sweet, because shortbread typically isn't. Because the cookie butter is, so I kind of want it to be, you know, I want there to be a counterbalance of flavors. Otherwise, all sweet, people just want, you know, one eventually, you know, every few minutes. Not few minutes. Okay, and I have this beautiful 13 by 9 inch pan that I got from Aldi. Look at the beautiful swirls on the sides. I got it on clearance. I swear it was like $5 or $7, somewhere in there. But it's so hefty. Oh my gosh. Alright, so what we're going to do is I'm going to basically just take out what I need from here, and then I'm just going to cover the rest in the bowl. Because I don't think I need to take it out of the bowl. I don't know if that makes any sense. I'm going to kind of make a dividing line and just... I think you could eyeball it based on how fast it fills up the container as well. And one of these days I'm going to get it together to have my mohawk standing at attention. I still need some sort of, you know, straight up spray or something. You know, something to really just make it go, whoa. I'm getting the shape down a little better, so I'm happy about that. But by the time that happens, I'll be able to go back and see Emily at Trevolte and get some more color. I want to keep it gray, but I want to keep adding too. I want to get some more, like maybe some low lights or something. Alright, let me spread this out first and see. I think I still have too much in here. Because I'm just thinking of that, whatever's in there, as the topping. If that makes any sense. So I'm thinking maybe, you know, you don't need so much up there. So maybe in half is not necessarily the case, I guess, is what I'm saying. Trying to spread it out and get it even. And we're going to compress it pretty good, but I want to make sure I have enough dough in there first to really make everything look pretty even. Yeah, because that's a big spot right there. Okay, yeah, I'm going to put a little bit more. How thick is it on the side? Yeah, we could go a little thicker. Okay. I'm trying to grab because, you know, it's kind of, you know, like when you do your oat crumble and you're putting the oats and stuff in there and you kind of sprinkle it like that, it's got that texture. So that's where you should feel like you're at with this dough, if that helps at all. Almost like a Play-Doh consistency. So I got good reviews from the Mom's Day Off episode, which was 87. We did the turkey enchilada and the pumpkin dump cake, which was like a pumpkin cheesecake. Dump cake with the yellow cake mix, 2 cans of pumpkin. They had cream cheese swirled in there. She said it was super moist. And the enchiladas were awesome. Okay. I think that was about right. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to get this wrapped up. I'm just probably going to press the press and seal on top of it and put it in the fridge. Or if you have a porch or something, a covered porch that you could put it on, you could always do that too. And then I'm going to show you, because we got to bake this. Guess I'm eating it. I have no eggs in it. Okay, so we got to get this in the oven for 20 minutes, and it's set at 325. And again, the time might be not that long. We have to kind of pay attention. Whoa, don't fall, don't fall, don't fall. Kind of got to pay attention to the edges, she said. Because while it is shortbread and it looks a little on the drier side, you don't want it to be dry. Especially when it tastes so buttery right now. It would be heartbreaking. I'm going to lower my shelf down here real quick. Okay. I'm going to pop this guy in there. I'm going to check it after 10 just to see kind of where we're at. And I didn't press it like super hard. I'm wondering if I should have. If I'm going to check it after 10. That way I might still have time to save it by pressing it down a little more. Okay, so press and seal. So regardless of how I'm feeling and how I'm dressed for the day, and I stayed this way on purpose because I wanted to show you that regardless of what you're doing or what you have to do, I know you can't go to work with your pajamas on, but maybe there's something that can make you feel better about going to work. Coming home and putting your pajamas on? I don't know. I just want you to have something to focus on other than the fact that you may be doing something you don't want to do. Or you're like me and you're doing something you really wanted to do, but you feel like crap doing it. So, if that helps at all. And I don't want to press down too hard on it because it is going to be kind of a crumble. So we wanted to keep it break aparty. If that's a word. Oh, I knew that was going to happen. I've been bonked on the head before. Oh my goodness. Okay. Stay put, you. Up, 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 up. Up. Sometimes you have to talk to these things. Okay. Okay, so then what we're going to do is this is the cookie butter. Kind of looks like peanut butter. If you haven't had some, you maybe never tried it. Got a little melty sitting by the stove, but we are going to mix the cookie. Oh my gosh. This is going to make you sick, I think. Not in a bad way. I think you're just going to go, whoa, mind blown. Okay, so we're going to talk about powering through because that is what I'm trying to do right now. I know I feel or look either not put together, dressing wise or hair wise, but I also think I'm bringing out a perky factor that, while not faking it till I'm making it, truly appreciating where I am right now and just trying to think about that, even though this ring light is giving me a major going straight back. So, with that being said, powering through does not have anything to do with what do I want to say? I might need this for something. Okay, so powering through has nothing to do with, how do I want to put this? It's not about, I don't want to say it's not about the feeling, but it's about just getting to the end result. And how you can do the same thing, even if you have to go to work or things of that nature. Realizing that there's an avenue to get there, even if you don't feel the greatest. And somehow thinking ahead and knowing at the end that you'll feel better if you take the chance on what you have to do or gonna do or whatever the goal may be. And then realizing that if you just focus on little things at a time, like taking a moment and kind of stretching it out to make it last longer, especially if you don't have a lot of things to do at work, but you have to go to work, if that makes sense. I'm not saying dilly-dally. I'm saying be productive. But you're going to have to be productive in your own way. Find out what makes you feel okay about being where you're at for the day, and then trying to figure out how you're going to make it better. So, for example, if I had to go to work today, I might stop at Starbucks and get a hot cocoa. Because that, in actuality, in my brain, takes me back to when I worked at Starbucks end of 96, beginning of 97. I can honestly say that it was probably one of the greatest jobs I've ever had. Not so much because I worked for Starbucks, although I felt at the time they're a really good company. They take care of the part-time people. And that's not to say they don't now. I'm just saying in some aspects people are not caring for them so much right now. Anyway, had a great time with the people that I worked with. And so I knew, even if I didn't feel great when I woke up that day, and I usually worked the 5 a.m. to 1 shift, I think, like 2 to 3 days a week. And let me tell you, that helped my coffee habit so much in that I didn't have to pay for coffee. So I'm actually, in actuality, I'm saying it made it worse because I could get coffee whenever I wanted. When you work, you got it for free. When you weren't working but you stopped by, I think you got it for 50% off, maybe? That one's a little iffy about the percentage. I can't remember. And sometimes people that were working would just give you their drink because they could just make themselves another one. Especially if you're going to stay there and talk with them so their day goes by faster. And then you get 1 pound of coffee a week for free. A pound of coffee a week for free. I don't go through a pound of coffee a week. But let me tell you, everybody got pounds of coffee for Christmas because I would just get them and get the whole beans and then store them in the freezer and then give them away as gifts. And not as the whole gift. Trust me, I gave them mostly something else that cost more. But it was nice to add a pound of Starbucks coffee to the gift sometimes. Most of the time I kept it, but I do love Starbucks coffee. And that job was awesome. But getting through the day when you wake up with a migraine, because I was getting migraines a lot back then, I think. First of all, if you have migraines like I do, where you're kind of blind in one eye, or you see like the little aura, like if you got your picture taken with a flash, so you either see a ring, like I'm probably going to see later because I'm staring at this light, or, my right hand goes numb. So I think a couple times I would get a migraine, not before I went to work, but once I got there. And it'd be hard to focus. But I wouldn't want to go home, or I couldn't go home because I couldn't drive myself. So I would just wait it out and just work and kind of go, okay, let me fix this as much as I can, which was taking Motrin or Tylenol or something of that nature. And actually, drinking caffeine does help migraines. The caffeine does help. Let me check. Yeah, I think I'm gonna press it together a little more once it's done with this first 10 minutes. And then, just finding ways, like I would make myself cocoa. I mean, that was the end result of this whole story. So it brings back very fond memories, and a lot of times, when you're trying to get through a rough situation, thinking of something fondly changes your whole mind framework. I don't know if you remember when I first started this channel, I started with 3 other challenges. For the life of me, or 4 even, there might even have been 4. I'm drawing a blank on most of them. But I asked you to think of 3 positive things every day when you wake up. I said the morning was the best because you really need the motivation to get going, especially if you work in the morning. It would be to say, okay, I'm really grateful I woke up today. I mean, really basic stuff, especially if it felt like crap. It was like, let me find something within this mess to refocus myself. Now, back then I didn't think this way, of course. But this is what I'm thinking to myself. Had I grown up another 30 years and realized that while I might have made a crappy situation worse by not handling my headache properly, I would at least take the medication and try and focus on, helping the customers. Because we have regulars, that was fun. Getting their drinks ready before they were even in the door. Knowing what time they were coming, that kind of thing. So it was just, a kind of different place to work, but fun. And, but I do remember having, especially when you have to wake up that early. Oh my gosh, that thing's so heavy. I'm gonna just, if it's so good, I'm just press this down a little more because I think we want it a little more together. I'm just worried it's gonna break apart when I try to cut them. So, and it's still pretty pliable, so it's not like I totally messed up, except I'm letting all the heat out, which felt so good for a second, but I'm like, what? Let's get this pressed in there a little better. You know what I could use? I don't want to let all the heat out either. One second. I have, and I just put it back in here somewhere. Oh, come on. I'm still here, everybody. Trust me. Oh! Sorry. I'm coming. Oh, are you kidding me? Where are you? Oh, my goodness. Okay. Alright, the other technique you can use, I was trying to find my pastry cutter. Yeah, she's not up here. The other technique you can use, I'm trying to go quick, is taking your, measuring cup and just pressing down so you get a nice flat instead of your fingers. Might help to stick together a little better. That's all I'm thinking. But I thought I could do the pastry cutter because then I could do across the, edge it that way. Not that it has to be perfect, I guess. Just trying to get it into one. I mean, I don't even know if she was that specific. I'm just worried about cutting it and it not staying together. Is my theory. Okay. That's my theory. Okay. So that's going to go back in for, I don't know, it might be 10, might be 15 minutes because I kept it out so long. We'll see. I know it's not really about the heat on this because once we spread the cookie butter on there, and I'm trying to crush out my cookies a little more, I think. Now this is, Peyton honestly said it was more like 1/8 of a cup that we were short on the cookie butter. But I figure, let's do extra and then maybe we can, I'm going to put some in the cookie butter itself. Almost like it's a chunky cookie butter. Sorry, and then I want to save some of the bigger pieces, or maybe some of the smaller pieces for the actual crumble itself. If you've never had a Biscoff cookie, I'm trying to describe the flavor. Peyton says they're cinnamony. I don't know. It's kind of a graham cracker elevated. In my mind, not the thickness of a graham cracker. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But powering through is important because a lot of times you really don't have a choice. There's so many things that we have to deal with that come our way that we don't really have a say in the matter. If we said, whoa, back the truck up, you're not coming over here type of deal when something bad happens, we'd all be living these spectacular lives, but that's not how it works. And when you're hit with something, like I got shingles, when you're hit with that, it's just like, golly, I'm trying to get a step ahead. Can you leave me alone for a minute? I just need a minute. But you just keep going through it. You just have to. And frankly, if you think about all the other times you thought you couldn't do it, and you're standing here on the other side of that situation, on the good side, having accomplished it, made it through, are standing up for yourself and really feeling powerful, that's what we're looking for. Giving yourself that little bit of oomph to say, I can get there. I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
I'm a powerful human being and I'm going to move mountains. I guess that's how I feel with my PJs on. Now, if I had my regular clothes on, I might not feel so powerful. But we'll see. All right, I'm going to let you guys go for about 5 minutes or so while this cooks up, and I'll be back in a minute. See you in a minute. Hey, guys. I don't know what happened, but somehow it got stopped recording. I don't know where it stopped recording, but I am ready to do the next process in this whole fun cookies that we're making. So this is what the shortbread turned out to look like, our base, if you can tell. It's a little golden around the edges. And then what I did to help make this more spreadable is I just melted it, and I'm just going to pour it in here and just kind of make sure it gets evenly distributed. I added about 1/4 cup of the cookie chunks to this, like 1 1/4 cups of cookie butter. I'm going to get this all spread out because essentially all she wanted you to do was spread out the Nutella. And then we're going to take that dough that we put in the refrigerator and we're going to crumble it on top. And since I have extra cookies, I'm going to crumble a bit of that on the top too. Sounds delicious, doesn't it? Now that I've melted it, I smell a little bit more of the cinnamon. What Peyton was saying about them being cinnamon-y. Yeah, melt your hazelnut spread, and it will be so much easier to do. And then put on your grocery list that you need more Nutella or cookie butter, depending on what you choose to do with yours. Okay, don't forget. Okay, I'm trying to get it evenly distributed. I got a big old chunk of cookie. Oh, there we go. I had a big pile up in the middle, I think is what my problem was. You know, this would just be like a really good, if you wanted to stop here, like a really good topping for the shortbread. And then you could just put the powdered sugar on top of the, if you even needed it, really, on top of the Nutella. But you know me, I love a good crumble. Tasty. All right. So now I'm debating, do I put a little bit of a layer of the cookie? I mean, if you're going to be bad, you know, you might as well. Go all out and just make your portion smaller. Sounds good, doesn't it? Oh, I just dropped a ton right in one spot. Didn't need to do that. Alright, so we got through powering through, I think, for the most part. You know, dealing with whatever you have to deal with, step by step, thought through thought, you know. Trying not to make yourself too overwhelmed with the whole process, you know, because that can be part of the problem. Is just dealing with the process in general can be overwhelming. All right, I think I'm gonna stop because I don't want to I probably already over whatevered. Okay. But now we gotta crumble this up. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna clean this off real quick. And I'm just gonna rinse off and I'm gonna use my offset spatula to kind of re-break up my crumbs because they're kind of compressed together. Whoa, don't fall over. Okay, so let's get this. There we go. That's what I needed. Because it really does crumb up nicely. You don't have to force it as much as you would like, you know, the oatmeal ones. I feel like get stuck together a lot easier. Which ironically is weird because it's more of a wider grain than we're dealing with here. I got some big crumbles in here, so we're gonna see what we get out of it. But we gotta break them up because I don't want a big honking piece of shortbread just sitting there, you know? But this is essentially what you're going to do with the whole dough. Is just crumble it over top of your cookies. Or if you use Nutella. Alright, I'm going to put you on pause again because I don't think you want to watch me do this for however long it's going to take me. And I'll be back in a little bit. See you in a minute. Alright guys, we're back. Here is the finished product. Crumbled up nice. I probably could have used more for the crust, I'm guessing, but we'll see. And it said about a half an hour. So I'm going to plop this in. And I will see you all in about a half an hour. See you soon. Hi guys, so we're back. I've taken it out and I'm going to show you what it looks like. I wish it were a little browner. I might put it in for a little longer. So you won't see the taste test until I post on Instagram at The Best Blessed Life and on Facebook at Kristen Haas, KristinHass. But it started to get a little golden. I'm thinking I might want to put it in for just a little bit longer just because I want it to get... It's not super dark on any of the sides. So I think what I'm going to do is end the video here. You do put powdered sugar on it at the end. So you would top it, you know, shake it on is all she says. And frankly, you wouldn't even see my powdered sugar because my... And I might even put a few more cookie crumbles on there. We'll see. Okay, and with that being said, I guess that does it for today. I want to thank you all for watching. I really appreciate all your support. And with that being said, I want you guys to have a good day. Go do great things. Be your best self. And please live your best blessed life. Thanks for watching. Bye.